If you enjoy what happens here over the next hour or so. To find out who our first guest is, let me hand you over to our gorgeous MC for the evening, the one and only Mr. Fred Cooke.
Thank you so much, Tommy. Well, our first guest is the magnificent Miss Erica Storm.
Hi.
Hello there, Erica.
How are you, my darling?
I'm...
Mwah. We do 2 kisses.
Okay, wow.
Mwah.
You look amazing.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you approve, yeah?
Well, I mean, it's fairly brilliant. So what's your story, Erica? What do you do?
Well, I do many things. My name is Miss Erica Storm.
Yeah.
Some may know me as a yoga teacher or the empowerment coach. And then some call me Madam Storm because they may know me as their dominatrix or their dominatrix teacher.
Ah, right.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you get into that whole world?
What, the dominatrix world?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Let's start with the interesting stuff.
Being a yoga teacher is interesting too. I teach about the power of the pussy and all that good stuff. But yeah, I was a international...
We can switch to that at any moment.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, yes, I'm a former international dominatrix. I did it for over a decade. And how I got into it...
How does that... You did it for an international dominatrix?
Yes, yes. So I was able to fly around the world and, yes, have clients from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, working with people that were in a relationship, wanting to introduce kink into the relationship. Then I moved on to helping women to find their voice and to own their kinks and fetishes. And that's when I became a trainer and started teaching women how to become professional dominatrixes.
Wow.
Yes. And I have my little box of tricks here if you like to explore with me.
Well, so is it about pain?
It's about pain and pleasure, but it's all about psychology.
Yeah.
You know, it's about tapping into someone's subconscious mind and that person feeling comfortable enough with you to just go into subspace. And subspace is when that individual just gives you all of their power and just says, you can just control me. And it's an exchange of power, and it's an exchange of energy.
It sounds sexy.
It's very sexy, and it's very empowering too. For both individuals. You know, imagine an individual who is the sub, which is the submissive, and they may have had this kink or fetish, you know, maybe some of them from as young as 12, you know, when I speak to some of my clients, because I come from a psychology background also, and I was always fascinated to how these kinks or fetishes came about. And I think it's empowering for someone to go to another individual, the dominatrix, and not be judged for their kink or fetish and have a safe space where they can explore this.
Can you talk me through a few kinks, the type of things that people might like?
Oh, God, there's so many. I have a client who his fetish is smoking. I have a client who...
So how does that get fulfilled?
Yes, so what would happen is you'd go and visit a professional dominatrix and she would smoke in front of you. When I first heard about this, I was like, what do you mean you're just going to smoke? You know, how can anyone get, you know, turned on or aroused by smoking? But I was very aroused. It's a fine art. You know, when you start tapping into the vibrations and the energy, right, and your intention. So you're not just smoking, it's the intention behind the smoking. It's how you place the cigarette between your lips. It's how you hold it. It's how you look into that person's eyes.
Yeah.
It's about the energy that you can transmit to that other person. And it's communicating without words, you know, and then you blow the smoke very seductively in their face. And for some clients, they like the cigarette to be ashed in their mouth. And then for some other clients, they like to be an ashtray, which means that you would actually pull out the cigarette in their mouth. And it's really important to highlight that there's different types of levels for different types of people.
Yeah.
It's not all the same.
And do you end up, like, riding them?
Riding them?
Yeah.
Would you... What kind of riding are you talking about?
Well, is the cigarette a precursor to the ride? Like, do you end up having sex with them?
No. Dominatrixes never have sex with their clients. Never. Because that defeats the whole purpose. Anyone can fuck you, but not anyone can fuck your mind, you see? And it's usually very, very powerful men that like to seek out a dominatrix. And again, it's about how you can make them feel in their mind.
It's a wild world because it's real.
It's very real. It's very real. And for all different types of people. You can't stereotype who has a kink and who has a fetish.
Well, what do you think is the thinking behind it? Like that desire to be hurt, or does shame come into it? Or?
I think not exploring your kinks and fetishes has that shame. I think that when you're able to explore your kinks and fetishes in a safe environment, then there's no shame. You know, shame is something that is put upon us because society says that something is deemed wrong, right? I actually think that people that come out and say, look, this is my fetish and this is my kink, and as long as it's consensual, I think it's great that we have these safe spaces for people to explore their sexuality and their sensuality.
So, OK, talk me through other fetishes then as well. So
Oh, we don't have time for that. There's too many.
Just some examples of things. So
OK, so let's go through my box, shall we? Shall we?
Yes. Yes.
Are you scared? Don't be scared.
I'm not scared, no, but I'm curious about that world of...
OK, so we can dive in a bit more. So I brought my little box with me. So here we have a flogger. So this is called corporal punishment.
Yeah.
OK? So some women, some men like to be flogged.
Yeah.
OK, nice and soft. That can be very, very sensual. You know, this is a very sensual art as well, depending on the madam, OK?
Yeah. Now, would the person be naked for that?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes they will be naked. Sometimes they want to be clothed. It's, you know, if you think about how many people there are in the world, everyone's so uniquely different, you know?
And in terms of women who want the same thing, for women who want to be
really interesting
dominated?
question, because for so long I never ever had a female sub or a pet. So I'm a real lifestyle dominatrix, so I have personal subs. And I thought, no, I only want to have men because that's the, you know, the role reverse.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, actually, that's something that's within me that I had to reflect on, because why can't a woman want to be submissive and find empowerment through that? Just because she's a woman, right? So I think anybody who wants to feel submissive has the right to feel submissive, and they feel really empowered in that role.
Stuff like getting peed on, is that...
You see, again, there's so many different variations of what you can go for a dom for. That's not something that I would personally do, right? But waterworks, that's something that's known to be done, but that's also known in the vanilla relationships as well.
Because you call them vanilla?
Yes, a vanilla relationship is a non-kink, fetish, BDSM relationship.
OK.
You know.
So say for people now who are going out with somebody and as part of sex, they might like to be spanked, or they might like, I guess stuff that edges towards pain or something, or edges towards that this hurts a little bit, but I kind of like it. Is that all part of the same thing, I wonder? Absolutely.
You know, when I have these conversations with people like, oh God, no, I don't like BDSM. I'm like, okay, do you give love bites? Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Do you like your hair pulled? Oh yeah, I like my hair pulled. Oh, okay, this sounded very familiar.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, do you like to be spanked? Oh yeah, but just a little bit. Okay, that's still BDSM, you know? It's just different levels of it.
How did you get into it?
Oh, gosh. Many years ago, I was speaking to one of these ladies, and when I was younger, I would attract a lot of women that were very free sexually, you know, so a lot of stripper friends, a lot of escort friends. And she was saying to me, you know, her and her sister are going to create this dungeon. Now, being young, I wanted to be seen as cool, so I didn't want to ask too many questions. So I went home and I did some research, and I found this lady on the internet. This was before Instagram, of course. And I contacted her, and she was very, very open. She invited me to her home, and there was this man holding a tray of champagne. And she says, take a seat. And we just started talking about goddesses and the history of dominatrixes and psychology and power.
And just kind of flicking his balls every now and again.
Not yet. You're skipping the story, babes. So anyway, she goes, would you like to see my dungeon? Now, this guy that was nicely, dressed in a suit and tie, he had disappeared. Went downstairs to the dungeon. Now he's completely naked. And he's kind of like bending over this bench. Now I know it's called a spanking bench. And she kind of, ties him up, ties his ankles up, ties his wrists up, and starts to cane him. And she goes, would you like a try? And I said, yes, please. And the sound of that cane cracking turned me on. And the rest was history. And I felt empowered to accept that I liked this, because for my whole life I'd been bullied because of the way I look and that I'm tall and I take up space. And people found that energy quite intimidating. And I ended up going to like 7 different schools because of bullying. And here I am as a young girl being embraced by older women saying, you're amazing. And that's where I really grew and really became comfortable with my power and accepting who I am. That's electric.
Are you expensive?
It depends what you think expensive is. I know my value.
Yeah.
And that's how I would like to leave that. I know my value.
Okay.
And again, that's something that has been a domino effect in my life. Being a dominatrix has some amazing transferable skills. I know my worth. I know my value. I'm not afraid to let someone know what my worth is. I'm not afraid to speak up for myself. I'm not afraid to assert myself. But I also know how to balance out my feminine and masculine energy.
So what would you, just in terms of differentiation between BDSM and sex, so if
when we talk about sex, we talk about penetration. There's no penetration. I think that's very clear. I think the viewers...
If somebody says, I want to put a mobile phone in my bum and I want you to call me.
Would you?
Where does that fit into the whole...
I don't know, babe. I mean, where did you pull that one from?
Leave a voice message.
My hands are full at the moment. Oh, gosh.
So, but that kind of unusual sexual kind of imagination, does that fit into the word you're talking about?
I mean, some things are meant to stay a fantasy.
Okay.
And I've told people this many times, whether they're a student or a client. Some things are just meant to stay as fantasies.
All right. So you mentioned teaching people about their pussy power.
Yes.
What is that?
So I run a retreat called the Power of the Pussy Retreat. And I created this retreat because I really wanted to help women with their sexual trauma and to help women tap into their sensuality and sexuality. Because we live in a society where women are over-sexualized, but they're not given the space to explore their sexuality and sensuality. Okay. And through all my work that I've been doing through coaching and therapy, I saw a huge amount of women, from different religious backgrounds, different cultures, that they weren't allowed to express themselves. And there was a lot of shame. A lot of women felt shame with their bodies. And a lot of women were not acceptance of themselves. And then you have women who have gone through traumatic childbirth, or they're cancer survivors, or they've been sexually assaulted, and they want to reclaim their power back. So Power of the Pussy is all about reclaiming your power back.
Do you think it's the most important part of a woman's body?
I would say it's the most powerful part of your body. Because it doesn't matter how intelligent you are. This is not about intelligence, right? Again, if you've had your power, and most women have had their power taken away from them through sex. Most women. Whether that's being in a loving relationship and not telling their partner that they've never had an orgasm and faking it.
Yeah.
Pussy power. Whether that's you being in a relationship where you're not allowed or you don't feel comfortable to express what you want. As simple as, I want to change positions. Pussy power. Down to a woman who says, actually, I'm bisexual. Pussy power. Down to a woman saying, no, I don't want to have sex. Pussy power. Down to a woman who might say yes at the beginning, then gets her clothes off and says, no, actually, I've changed my mind. Pussy power.
You mentioned that you had a pet.
Yes, I have 2.
So what does that mean?
So they're individuals that enjoy serving me.
and throughout the day, or is it like they see you once a fortnight or something? Or...
So, for example, they will come to my home. You know, they know that they can talk to me about anything. I take care of them and they take care of me. That's our relationship. Now, different dominatrixes will have different relationships with their subs, with their pets.
And does being in a monogamous relationship with a man interest you, or with a woman interest you?
Why would you ask that?
I'm just curious about how so there's the work, and then I'm curious about how the private person with the private life engages with the work.
Yeah, but I am who I am.
What does that mean?
It means that when you come into my life, you accept me for who I am and everything that comes with it. I have a beautiful man. I'm in a beautiful loving relationship. And I still have my pets.
Yeah. Have you had many Irish clients?
I have clients from all over the world. And, you know, that thing, that culture thing, that's what brings shame on people, you know, because they're either like, oh, no, I'm an Irishman, or oh, no, I'm a black man, or oh, no, I'm a lad's lad, right?
Yeah.
All these stereotypes, all these boxes. Let's just be free. But I have clients from all over the world, from all different backgrounds, from all different cultures, all different ages.
But you haven't noticed a link between and the Irish guys?
What link?
Well, just that there might be kind of a similar theme running through the type of stuff that they're into.
Oh, like that?
Like to be, say, punched in the face while you say the Hail Mary.
No, but this sounds like something that you've probably ordered in. I might have to start dialing some of my mistress friends, ask around about you, babes.
Talk me through the things in your box, then.
I don't know if you're ready for them, to be fair, babes. I don't know.
In what?
So, I showed you the flogger. This is what we do when
Could you just flog my hand for a second to see if it was...
I think you need flogging somewhere else, if you ask me. I think you've been quite naughty.
Oh, yeah, do it again.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Babes, one more and I'm going to have to charge you.
Already, the first two are free?
The first two are free. One more.
One more. Oh, yeah.
Then we have our... Okay. Oh, this is my favourite thing because I can just put this in my handbag. This is what we call a pinwheel. Now, you was talking about pain earlier. Yeah, so some things will cause you pain, but some things will cause you a beautiful balance between pain and pleasure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we give it a go, shall we?
Yes. But we need a new spot. The hand's getting boring now.
Okay, go on, try that hand.
No, we need a new spot, not the hand. I need something else. Let's see this. Okay. Do you want it harder?
A little bit harder, yeah, please.
Oh, do you like that?
You could probably go harder again, I'd say. Oh, now you're talking.
Oh.
Yeah, go on, dig into it. Oh, yeah. Drive it, go on, drive it. That's the girl. Oh, okay, stop. Would you be quite drained after a day? Like, how many clients would you see in a day?
I can be drained by just doing yoga because I'm dealing with people's energies and I'm dealing with people's emotions. So, yeah, I get really tired.
Sure you do,
I get very, very tired, yeah.
It's I think it's a great thing to be doing.
Thank you.
And fair play to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me, darling. Don't forget, you can call me if you want a session.
Welcome back to the second half, everybody. Freddie, who's next?
Tommy, our next guest is Mr. David McSavage.
Ah, brilliant.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Tommy. Sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Good to see you. Good to see
Why are you sorry?
I'm just saying, I'm sorry. Oh, for Christ's sake. That was very entertaining, the previous guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you?
I think I'm okay.
Where are you now in terms of your work and performing and earning a living and,
Well, thank God
and being excited about what's coming up or anything like that?
Well, thank God for social media, because the penny only dropped with me in terms of how revolutionary Instagram is, for instance. And so, luckily, thankfully, I can sell more tickets now than I did when I was doing the Savage Eye. And that's as a result of having this ability to build an audience as a result of doing sketches and stuff on Instagram. So it's like kind of like, because I used to be a street performer, so it's like street performing online. So you know what I mean? Because I have burnt a lot of bridges and all that kind of stuff, and so this has given me light at the end of the tunnel.
Do you regret any of that? I don't want to get into the specifics of any of them, but I just want to give listeners an idea of the type of thing. So it might be with a promoter. It might be with somebody who runs a festival. It might be with somebody who runs a radio station. They're the bridges. It might be a venue owner.
Yes. There was one guy who had kind of a powerful position in the comedy world, and I think when I was doing the Savage Eye, I'd make up a character and use variations of his name.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of, so I would say a lot of my comedy actually is revenge fueled.
Spiteful.
Yeah, possibly.
Is it?
Well, spiteful. Well, justifiably vengeful. I mean, you might say spiteful, but I don't.
No, I'm throwing that out there. I don't know. I'm asking you. Is
that... No, I mean, well, no, I don't think spiteful. Because spiteful sounds like you're just doing it and there's no reason to get back at this person.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Most comics that I know that whenever we're talking about you would say that you're brilliant and that, but each gig could turn if you decide that. I remember you saying to me one time that you would be watching how an audience are reacting to a particular comedian, and if you felt that they were giving him more laughter than he deserved, you would then go on stage
and punish the audience
and punish them.
Well, that was a long time ago, but it's definitely true. On many occasions, I'd hear a comedian getting big laughs who I didn't think was worthy of those big laughs, and then come on and say something to ruin the gig, and then build them back up in my own kind of image or whatever. But actually, it's I guess that could be that is a bit spiteful, or I don't know. Yeah,
but you've a lot of fans, David. You've a load of fans.
And
I'm one of them, and you know that.
Yeah. Do you know what this it feels like an interrogation? That's what this is, because it's there's no audience, and it feels like, Tommy, you're the representative of all the comedians in Ireland, and this is an intervention. And look, David, you're going to have to pull up your socks and stop harassing the other comedians. Stop being vengeful. I can't help myself. No, but I think with in comedy there are cliques, and there are some comedians who are doing better than others, and certain styles of comedy, for instance, and and the fact that I sometimes, or a lot of times, use a guitar. A lot of comedians who just have a mic and who would say that is the purest form of comedy. They'd look down on me. But then actors, for instance, or theatre actors look down on comedians.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, so there's all this kind of competitive stuff going on within the comedy industry, but I kind of like it. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with people not liking you, but although it is, I find it does shut me down if I see some. I'd get quite angry if I saw people getting offended in the shows. Like I'd sort of double down on what I was saying and really piss them off.
What's your feeling then? Say something like that has happened where you get people in it and they're kind of going, they're shaking their heads and they're kind of, tut-tutting, and you go, okay, I'm going to layer it on you, layer after layer. What do you feel like when you walk off stage then? Well,
sometimes it can turn and they can chill the fuck out and start laughing and relax.
Yeah.
And then other times, whatever shit that I'm pumping out to them, I walk off stage with and feel horrible and have to go home and sort of rock back and forth in a fetal position. But like, but it doesn't. I'm not as bothered about people being offended as I used to be, because they have a right to be offended. But also, nothing needs to be done as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Who do you hang out with?
Well, I go to I do a lot of gigs, so I hang out with other comedians.
Okay.
And I've actually started doing, believe it or not, a podcast with my ex-wife and my 2 sons.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, and that's a lot of fun because so we're hanging out together, not in the traditional way a family would hang out. We actually have a purpose.
Yeah.
We're doing a podcast. Each of us has our role, and we're slowly getting better.
Is it called?
And that's why we're not together.
So it's you and your ex.
Yeah.
And your kids?
She's my sidekick, and Jack is operating. Jack is my youngest. Daniel is my eldest. Jack is on this. He operates the sound. Daniel operates the video. But they contribute, and they have their own section of the show. Daniel does some trivia about Nicolas Cage, and Jack has his little section of the show called Conspiracy Corner.
And is it all about how yourself and your ex don't get on? Did you have arguments and stuff?
No, yeah, we do have arguments, and there's always those little points in the show where the music comes in, and that's why we're not together. But it feels like it feels like a really good opportunity for me. I mean, I just love sitting with them, so that's good.
Do you have a sense of yourself as an outsider?
Jesus, Tommy, I don't even have, if you want to get honest, I have no idea what I should be or where I fit in. I know I have 2 sons, and that gives meaning to my life. But in terms of, society and being outside, and being, I'm not really sure.
I think you are. I think you're someone who's outside the mainstream. I think you're the kind of the dangerous genius in the bush.
Yeah.
That people are delighted to see, but kind of scared to engage with.
Yeah.
And people don't like or really like. Someone you don't make it easy for people. I think you're an uncomfortable presence. I think you're kind of, but from a professionally speaking, me and all the other comics that I know love that about you.
Yeah. But that's an interesting, because I've got to the age now where I'm okay with the fact that people don't like me, and I mean, no different to any comedian. Thank God there are enough people that. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, there are lots of people who don't like me as a comedian, but there are enough people who do like me, and thankfully I can make a living from that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And what harm as well?
How are you getting older? How with getting older, and what's changed in terms of
getting older? Yeah. Well, I guess I'm probably in denial of it. I did start going to the gym recently, because the thing is, actually during lockdown.
What do you do at the gym?
Fucking lunges or whatever the fuck. And I pay a personal trainer, because there's no way I'd do it without somebody just looking at you and telling you to do it. Because if I rely on my own brain, I do fuck all. Well, look, I dyed my fucking beard, didn't I?
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I dyed my beard. I don't have as much grey as you do, but I dyed my beard to cling to the fucking.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Why would you not dye your beard?
Are you dating?
Yes, yeah.
That's why you dyed your beard.
No, I also. Quiet, please, on the set. Fuck's sake, Tommy. RTE. Go on. It's probably Ryan Tuberty scrabbling his way back in. He's my first cousin. Did you know that?
I know that, and I also know that you were never on his Late Late.
Never on his fucking Late Late. 14 years. And thank you, Tommy Tiernan, for finally, after 15 fucking years... Sorry. Oh, no, you didn't invite me.
I didn't invite you.
Because you didn't know.
No.
You didn't know. Yeah, you didn't know, Tommy, yeah. Fucking bullshit. Anyway.
Do your kids ever come to see your stand-up?
Yeah, I don't want them to, but they do, but they don't, they pretend they haven't.
Yeah.
Because the kind of things I'd be talking about, like, you know, I don't want my son, I don't want my son's,
But
I don't want my son.
I imagine people would have sent them stuff on the phones and that. Here's your dad doing this.
You know, but like, yeah, there's certain things. No, they have come to, anyway, yeah.
I think the stand-up suits you.
Yeah.
More than I've seen it suit a lot of other people. It just seems to fit with your...
Yeah.
Because the stuff that you can say that is awkward in conversation or is mean or is a bit mental or in conversation.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost like when you do it on stage, it's almost that's where that kind of stuff belongs, isn't it? It's kind of like...
Yeah, and I think people appreciate, or somebody said a long time ago that you're, as a performer, you're kind of duty-bound to say whatever pops into your head. People talk about sacred spaces. I would say the stage, you should be, there should be a sort of an allowance or a more of a space to fuck up. Because, you know, I will fuck up and I will, you know, and sometimes, but here's the thing though, I think people can recognize honesty and they find it very refreshing. And it's like it has a melody to it. It's like, you know, when you hear somebody singing tune, you're like, oh yeah. And also I think people, they might disagree with you, but they'll really appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
And, well, listen, here's the thing. And we can finish on this if you want. It's so weird. No, this is the actual answer you're looking for. If you saw how I acted in social situations, objectively, and you saw the way I was so desperate for attention, didn't matter what kind of fucking attention, whether it was you're a fucking or hey you're great, as long as people were paying attention to me, that was it.
Yeah.
And then you'd look at that person, and you think, he's acting as if he doesn't exist. If he's not, so like. You know, young people talk about, I identify as a fox. I would say when I was young, I identified as if I was not existing because I was so desperate for validation or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It was like pure drug or so. I mean, it was something, I want to do that. But I didn't, I wanted that without putting the fucking work in. And then I'd want to get close to someone like you and be your mate, but I didn't feel worthy. And then I start drinking. And ruin any potential of an actual friendship because I probably said something stupid when I was drunk or whatever. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. Where are the next few gigs happening for you?
Oh, I've got a big gig coming up in Trio Olympia on March the 14th. So, you know, tickets are on sale for that.
Yeah. Wow.
I might have sold out by now.
Yeah. Good luck with the gigs, man, really.
Thanks for having me on. Well, you didn't have me on your show.
Fair play, David. Thanks. Welcome back to the third half, everybody. Freddie, who's next?
Tommy, our next guest is Arthur Grunlian.
Ah, yes. Hello. How are you?
I'm a hugger.
Oh, you're a hugger. Right.
Wow.
How are you?
Great now. I've seen your picture.
Oh,
but I don't know.
Where? Probably all over social media, Tommy.
With Brian.
Oh, yes.
And your baby.
Yeah. Oh.
But I don't know anything else about you.
Okay.
So
you're in for a ride. I love it. Yeah. Well, what can I say? Well, I'm actually kind of known because of Brian.
Okay.
Brian Dowling.
You kind of look a little bit like him. I'm sure you've been told that loads of times.
No, I never actually. It's the first time.
Liar.
I swear. I hope the pretty version, though. Do I look prettier than him? Tell me the truth. Okay, let's pass. It's fun. Do you know what they say when actually with your couple, you're actually molding into each other?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's what's happening.
Okay, yeah.
He hates my hair though.
Yeah.
He wants me to shave my hair. But no, listen, people know me through Brian Dowling, obviously.
Yeah.
But I used to be a dancer for 10 years and then start choreographing creative direction. But I think few people kind of know me because of Dancing with the Stars here in Ireland. And that's kind of like took my life in this beautiful bubble, living my best life in the limelight, I say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how people know me here.
Where are you from?
I'm from Armenia.
Okay.
Yeah, I left Armenia when I was like 13, going on 14.
Whereabouts is Armenia?
Armenia, it's Eastern Europe.
Okay.
You know, it's between Turkey, Russia, Azerbaijan.
Okay.
Don't like
a great place
mentioning
for a young gay man to grow up.
Oh, absolutely. You just nailed it. Exactly. But thank God I wasn't there when I came out. I didn't come out there. No, that was like...
Going down to the Pride Parade every year.
Do you imagine me there? Hi, guys, wearing all pink. Okay, I would have never been sitting here talking to you then. No, I left back in 1993. October 1993 took us a long time. We were escaping Armenia. So my family, because of the war, oh my God, that's it, you get me going there. Because of the war, we had to escape Armenia to save my life. So my mom decided to pack everything. And yeah, it was a big journey to start 1993.
Was it, the war was...
With Azerbaijan.
With Azerbaijan.
With Azerbaijan, which is, they won this year. That just, it's been going on since 1988, but in 1992 everything started. And, I was meant to be going to war. I was only like 12 when it started. But obviously, I've seen the horror in my life. And my family said, that's it, we have to leave this country. You can't survive here. Well, you'll be dead. There was an accident happened. I was in a music school doing guitar. And one day I just came out with my friends and I saw my friends walking, before me. And I said, oh, I think I forgot something. Let me just go back. And what I was saying that I saw a friend of mine. I think as a kidnapping because we didn't know who they were. It was a blue van. They picked him up, put in a van and left. Basically what was happening at the time, they were getting all the boys to go to the war. And I panicked. I went back to the school, the music school. I saw it with my own eyes. I don't know what's happened to my friend. Never heard what's happened. Where is he? Yeah, what's happened with him. And I went home that night and I said to my mom, I told her the story and she said, that's it, we have to leave here. And that's how our journey started. And we just packed the bags and I didn't know where we were going. I just followed my family. And then, very long story short, we ended up in Cologne. After 3 months, traveling through trains, through Russian mafia, through, hearing the bombs exploding, horror. And then we ended up in Cologne. And my dad said, listen, my brother is in Belgium. Why don't we go to see him in Belgium? And then we see what was happening. In my head, I thought my uncle was like, oh my God, he's a superstar, living this best European life. But he was also a refugee and asylum seeker. So we didn't have the money to go there. So we were stranded at the train station in Cologne. And my sister, I remember she was just standing there looking very homeless, like a homeless little girl. And somebody gave money to her. And that money added up to buy the ticket for 4 of us to go to Belgium. And then we went to Belgium and we went to my uncle's house. I remember so well. That was actually February 1994. I'm very good with dates. I don't remember what's happened, but I'm very good with dates. So it was 1994. I was 13. We arrived, and he said, listen, I can't help you. You have to go and seek for asylum. You have to say, refugees. So that's where I started. And
in Belgium?
In Belgium, yeah.
And how long did you live there?
I lived there for 8 years. The reason I left after 8 years, basically after 2 years being there. Obviously, we were refugees, so we were in this place called Petit Chateau. Petit Chateau in French is like a little castle, and it's like in Brussels. And where you're a refugee, you go there. And it's like a massive castle, but you have mattresses everywhere on the floor, so they put you there. And they don't really care about you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people, to care, but they don't really care. But because we were family, we were very lucky that one lady, I remember she was this tall blonde lady, just came and said, your family. We couldn't speak French. or Netherlands or Dutch, like nothing, or German. So she said, are you family? And I remember my mom could speak a little bit English all the time. And she said, yes, we are. And she said, okay, come with me. And I remember we walked in this massive corridor, and she said, okay, what we're going to do, we're going to take you as a family for our Salvation Army. They're going to help you. So our fate was to stay, survive. We want to go to Armenia. But it was horrible. Obviously, you can't leave the place for a couple of months. So it's like a prison, basically. You stay in the room for a couple of months until they decide what's happening. You can walk outside literally 20 meters and come back. But if you leave, that's it. Deported, you're in the plane, whatever country you come from.
Right, right.
And then after that, we went to a little village, which it sounds so weird. We became so known. We were the first Armenian refugees. There was no Armenian family there. And we literally came to that place called Malmedy, and it was like a godsend to us. It was my dad started working in Red Cross to help, do something. And my mom she used to be an opera singer. So she started singing in cathedral, and I was meant to be going to school, but, where do you start? You're 13, going on 14. Didn't know what to do. And then 2 years later, my dad died. I don't think he coped very well. One morning, I remember I was sleeping on a sofa. He was working very late, cleaning dishes, some restaurant. He came, he was having food. I think he was kind of losing his mind because he was talking to himself. I never heard that. He was a very strong man. And then he woke up in the morning and he said something stung in my head to my mom, and I heard it. And then suddenly he went. He was in coma for 2 weeks. There was hemorrhage. The blood exploded in his head. So he was 45, and when I went to the room, I was like destroyed, panicking, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And then he was in a coma for 2 weeks. So that's after that, the funeral, I was destroyed, and I said, that's it, I'm going to change my life. I was doing hairdressing at the time, and I said to my mom, I'm moving to Brussels. Yeah.
So when you said that you changed...
It's like somebody took a chip, the boy from 0 to 16, that chip got destroyed, and the new chip said, I don't know if I can swear, you're gonna fucking live your best life. Nobody's gonna stop me. No one gonna stop me. And I feel like he died to create this path for me and my sister and my mom to carry on our lives. But then after 6 months, I moved in February 1997, I moved to Brussels. We got a letter saying that they're not accepting us. You have to leave the country. It's the ultimatum. Either you actually pick your stuff up and leave, or we're going to handcuff you, plane, go back. But then go back where? We don't know what's happening with our apartment. We don't know. I don't know. At the time, I'm like now going on 17, so I don't even know what's happening in Armenia, So, and we have my mom destroyed, and one of her friends said, you can't go anywhere. You have to get somewhere right now. She's like, what do you mean? You have to fall in love. She's like, what? So, my mom met this beautiful human who actually saved our lives, Paul. He lost his wife at the same time as my mom. And in 1997, they met each other. They clicked. They got married. And that's how I got my Belgian passport.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. And you could stay then?
Yeah.
So, your heart was broken?
I don't even think it was a heart. I don't even remember what happened to it. I feel like my heart was a stone heart. I was destroyed, but I was like, nothing. That's a good question. I don't know if my heart was broken, because if it was broken, I'll be crying forever. I was like, no. I feel like I had a heart of stone, because I had to survive. Because if I didn't do it, who's going to help me?
But is there a sense now that the fight that you had to engage in order to survive there is now over? So you're talking about it now, it's making you very sad to think about it. So maybe now it's kind of like, well, Jesus, it's been 27 years.
Yeah.
And maybe now I can start to cry because I miss my dad.
actually it's weird because I never spoke about this. When I was actually dancing, because I became a dancer by accident, when I was dancing, I never wanted to be...
No one becomes an dancer by accident.
Well, if you heard my story, Tommy, I am the ultimate accidental dancer. You know that phrase, fake it till you make it? Yeah. I've done all my life.
All right, okay.
Literally. But I never... It's amazing what you say. Like, I never even spoke about my dad until just lately. Brian and I, we wrote a book, and writing the book was a therapy. I cried, I laughed, I cried, I laughed. I brought memories that I blocked completely. I used to have panic attacks. I used to wake up at 16 years old, living on my own in Brussels, panicking that I'm in Armenia, I'm gonna die. This is the end. And then I'm looking out the window, people getting shit-faced. I was like, oh my God, no, I'm in a good place now. But I was panicking.
How did you end up being a dancer?
Oh, very funny story. I was a hairdresser. So I was a hairdresser in Brussels. And I remember I was 19 years old, you know, as you do, you're going out with your friends. Long story short, dancing, I'm like having fun with my friends. There were like 3 girls and 2 boys, having fun. And one girl just came to me, beautiful. She went, okay, are you a dancer? I went, what? No, I'm a hairdresser. And she said, one of the dancers couldn't make it. So you are the best mover in the club because they can see everything. So you go, I know what's happening. Obviously, I know there's dancers. Yeah. I don't know they get paid, or I don't know what's happening. I was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I want to be one day. And she said, I've seen you dancing. All your friends will have free drink all night VIP. I'm like, oh my God, hallelujah. I mean, who gonna refuse that? So she gave me this tightest shorts, like literally PVC shorts, like so tight, and these massive white wings. She said, take your clothes off. I was like, what? She said, take your clothes off, wear the shorts, blonde. And again, I don't care, I'm doing it. Okay, it's fine. I did that, went on the stage, and then suddenly, boom, the lights. And then lights came in on me to another girl. It was Stardust. You know the song, Stardust? That was so popular. It just came on, and it came on. And I went, oh my God, I have arrived. This is amazing. I swear it was bonkers. And I didn't know what to do, so I started doing, dancing. I was very high. And everybody's like, oh my God. Obviously, people look at, I was loving life. So I did 4 times 15 minutes. And then in the end, my friends are having fun. They're like, what? And then the drinks come out or whatever, they were having fun. Yeah. So I danced, and then she paid me. And that was from Belgium at the time. I think it was €100 or something. And she paid me. I went, why are you paying me? And she said, well, you worked, you know, you get money. Yeah. I mean, you just pay me €100 just to do that. Are you serious? And I said to her, same time, next week, same time. And she said, are you a dancer? Second time. No, but I could be. She looked at me head to toe. She went, okay, someone will call you. I never seen that woman ever again. Yeah. It was like an angel who came to me because I always want to perform. Like, you know, I always want to dance. I want to sing, act, you know. But where do you start as a refugee? Where do you even start? I don't know. And that's what I was saying. If my dad didn't pass away, I feel like I would have never been sitting here talking to you. So I feel like he created this path for us to go and live our lives because I would have never been where I am now. I would have done maybe something, but I would have never done what I've done, what I accomplished the past 23 years.
How did you end up in Ireland?
Oh, I moved everywhere. I lived after that. I started dancing. People started getting to know me. And back in 2002, I was in London. December 27th, 2002, I met Brian, my husband. And then Dancing with the Stars changed my life.
Again?
First time.
Yeah. But it's a show that in Ireland is, a lot of people watch, but it gets a lot of kind of criticism as well. So it's surprising for me to hear someone say, oh my God, Dancing with the Stars, I've made it. And
you're talking to a dancer. It's a dream. I mean, me sitting there criticizing something that I've been working for all my life, it's just insane. It's like, it's a dream I never had.
Yeah.
This is, you are there, you're participating, enjoying someone like yourself who can't dance, and then suddenly come in front of me and like, oh my God, you're the beautiest ballerina ever. Do you know what I mean? You're changing people's life with tippy toes and things like that. So it's actually great.
No, you're not selling it to me. No.
I am selling it. Would you do it?
Not at all, no.
Never say never. I said lots of things, never say never.
Not even as part of a pension plan. Never.
Okay, we'll talk about it in 5 years when you're like, oh, okay, I'm retiring, I might as well do it. Do you know how many people actually come to me when I did Dancing with Stars, they said 4, maybe 3 actually. Do you know what? I'm going to change your mind. My mission now is to change your mind.
Please don't.
You're going to wear this suit by the end of the show. No, it's just a dream that I never had.
Yeah, I think you'd have to have had the traumatic childhood that you had in order to find Dancing with Stars.
Actually, maybe.
Brilliant.
And now I see the glitter and the glam. But actually, I'm not even a glittery person. I don't really do even.
You're probably dying to be on Fair City as well. I mean, I think.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, I said, there's an Armenian family in Fair City. I was like, what if I audition for Fair City? What else can happen? I could be an actor tomorrow.
What's the worst that can happen? You can be honest.
Oh my God. No, actually, I want to dream big. I want to be in Hollywood.
Final question. Do you ever worry about going bald?
Oh God, that will never happen to me. Tommy, don't do that to me. Don't ever do that to me. We in 2024 or 25, 26, we can do so many things.
I'm noticing a little bit of a...
Oh my God, don't do that to me. Don't zoom in camera. No, do you know what? I always...
There's a bit of a...
Oh my God, don't. It's just here. That's why I'm coming back like... No, listen, if I go bald, it's live. But I'll cut you. If you want, you can borrow some of mine.
Really? Okay. Arthur, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for coming on to the show. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of the most iconic Irish bands of all time to play us out. Would you please welcome, playing their song Down Market, The Blades.